Welcome back to English class. Now we are going to start the new lesson that is from Vista. Name of the lesson is The Enemy by Pearl S. Beck. Before you read this lesson, it is the time, this lesson is about the time of World War. An American prisoner of war is washed ashore in a dying state and is found at the doorstep of an Japanese doctor. Should he save him as a doctor or in hand him over to the army as a patriot? We will see in this story. This story is set during the Second World War. A Japanese doctor finds an American Poe at his doorstep. He is in a dilemma that being a doctor, should he save the wounded man, or being a Japanese, should he hand over the enemy to the army? Now let's learn about the writer. As I said, the writer was Pearl S. Buck, and she was born in 1892 and died in 1973. Was an American writer and novelist. She had a Chinese name as she spent her childhood in China. Being the daughter of missionaries, she was awarded prize in 1932 and the Nobel Prize in Literature in the year 1938. I'll read out the paragraph wise and I'll explain, and I'll give you the difficult words. If in between it comes the difficult words, I'll explain you. I'm going to read out this paragraph, the first paragraph. Let's read the paragraph. Dr. Sadao Hoki's house was built on a spot of the Japanese coast where, as a little boy, he had often played. The low square stone house was set upon rocks well above a narrow beach that was outlined with bent pines. As a boy, Sadao had climbed the pines, supporting himself on his bare feet, as in men do in the seas when they climbed for coconuts. His father had taken him often to the islands of those seas, and never had he failed to say to the little brave boy at his side, "Those islands yonder, and they are the stepping stones to the future for Japan. Where shall we step from them?" Sadao had asked seriously. "Who knows?" His father had answered. "Who can limit our future? It depends on what we make it." So in this paragraph, you will find only one difficult word, I hope. So, yonder. Yonder means at some distance in the direction pointed at. So this in this first paragraph, the writer introduced the main character of the story, as we come to know, the Dr. Sadao Hoki. And Dr. Sadao's house was situated on the coast of Japan. He had been living there since his childhood. The house had a low height and was made of stone. It was set upon the rocky beach, which had a boundary line made with pine trees that were tiled towards one side. When Dr. Sadao was a child, he would climb up the pine trees. On his visit to the South Seas, he would see men do so in order to get coconuts from the trees. uh, he- uh, his father would point towards the island and would say those were the stepping stones towards the future of Japan. Dr. Sadao would question him childishly that where would they reach from those islands. His father would reply that it was not known as it depended on the future. The future had no limits. It depended on mankind how it shaped its future. Now I am going to read the second paragraph. Sadao had taken into his mind, as he did everything his father said. His father, who never joked or played with him, but who spent infinite pains upon him, who was his only son. Sadao knew that his education was his father's chief concern. For this reason, he had been sent at 22 to America to learn all that he could be learned of surgery and medicine. He had come back at 30, and before his father died, he had seen Sadao become famous not only as a surgeon but as a scientist, because he was perfecting a discovery which would render wounds entirely clean. He had not been sent abroad with the troops. Also, he knew there was some slight danger that the old general might need an operation for a condition for which he was now being treated medically, and for this possibility, Sadao was being kept in Japan. So, in this paragraph, it says like that Sadao retained all the things that his father would tell him as a child. His father never played or joked with him. They shared a mature relation with his father, underwent a lot of hardships to bring him up bringing up. Sadao knew that his father was concerned about his education. He was sent to America at the age of 22 to study surgery and medicine. He returned at the age of 30. Before dying, Sadao's father, Sadao became famous not only as a surgeon but also as a scientist. Sadao was on his way to discover a treatment for wounds which would make them absolutely clean, and so he was uh, not sent abroad with the armed forces as a doctor. Also, he was retained in Japan because the old general was suffering from a disease which needed to be operated upon in case of an emergency. Let's move on to the next paragraph. Clouds were rising from the ocean now. The unexpected warmth of the past few days had at night drawn heavy fog from the cold waves. Sadao watched mist hide outlines of a little island near the shore and then come creeping up the beach below the house, writhing around the pines. In a few minutes, fog would be wrapped about the house too. Then he would go into the room where Hannah, his wife, would be waiting for him with the two children. In this paragraph, the writer describes the scene outside the Dr. Sadao's house. As the days were unusually warm and the sea waves were cold, the nights became foggy. Dr. Sadao saw the boundary of a nearby island become invisible gradually as it got covered in the mist. Slowly, the mist was coming closer to him. Soon there would be mist in all around his house. At that time, he would go back to the house to his wife Hannah, who was waiting for him along with their two children. Moving to the next paragraph. But at this time, the door opened and she looked out. A dark blue woolen houri over her kimono. She came to him affectionately and put her arm uh, through his as he stood, smiled and said nothing. He had met Hannah in America, but he had waited to fall in love with her until he was sure she was Japanese. His father would never have received her unless she had been pure in her race. Wondered often whom he would have married if he had not met Hannah. By what luck he had found her in the most casual way, by chance, literally at an American professor's house. The professor and his wife had been kind people anxious to do something for their new foreign students, and the students, though bored and had accepted this kindness. Sadao had often told Hannah how nearly he had not gone to Professor Harley's house that night. The rooms were so small, the food so bad, the professor's wife so valuable, but he had gone there, he had found Hannah, and a new student had felt he would love her if it were at all possible. Here, Hauri means a loose outer garment worn over the kimono. Kimono is, as you know, that is a traditional Japanese garment. So in this paragraph, it explains that before Sadao could go inside, the door opened and his wife looked out for him, and she was wearing a dark blue colored gown over her dress. She lovingly crossed her arm with his and smiled at him, remained silent, and stood by him. They had met in America. Sadao knew that his father would marry him to a Japanese girl only, and so he ensured this before falling in love with her. Sadao considered himself to be very lucky to have accidentally met her at an American professor's house. He wondered that he had he not met her, he would not have got a wife all his life. He thought that the professor and his wife were kind as they were keen to help foreign students. He was glad that they had accepted this kindness and went to their house because it was there that he had met Hannah. Sada would often tell Hannah that it was a mere coincidence that he went to the professor's house that night, as the rooms in his house were small and food was not good, and the professor's wife was very talkative. If he had not gone there at that night, he would not have met Hannah. At that time, Hannah was a new student, and Sadao had thought that he would love her if at all it would be possible for him. Now, moving to the next paragraph. Now, he felt her hand on his arm and was aware of the pleasure it gave him. Even though they had been married years enough to have the two children, for they had not married heedlessly in America. They had finished their work at school and had come home to Japan. And when his father had seen her, the marriage had been arranged in the old Japanese way, although Sadao and Hannah had talked everything over beforehand. They were perfectly happy. She laid her cheek against his arm. So, heedlessly means here carelessly. So, in this paragraph, it says like that Sadao and Hannah loved each other even after having two children. After many years of marriage, they had not married in a haste or in America rather than returned to Japan, sought permission from their parents, and got married in a traditional Japanese ceremony. They had discussed all the details before the wedding. They were happy with each other. Hannah rested her cheek against Sadao's arm with affection. Next paragraph I'm going to read. It was at this moment that both of them saw something black come out of the mist. It was a man. He was flung up out of the ocean, flung, it seemed, to his feet by a breaker. He staggered of two steps, his body outlined against the mist, his arms above his head. Then the curled mist hid him again. Staggered means what? Walk unsteadily as if about to fall. So in this paragraph, what they saw that the moment they saw a figure appeared out of the mist. It appeared black in color due to the mist in the air. Outline of the man's body was visible in the mist. He walked unsteadily with his arm above the head. It was an indication that he was a prisoner. The man walked a few steps, then disappeared in the mist. Who is that? Hannah cried. She dropped Sadao's arm and then both leaned over the railing of the veranda. Now they saw him again and again. The man was on his hands and knees crawling. Then they saw him fall on his face and lie there. Leaned means what? Bent to forward. What happened here? Upon seeing the figure, Hannah reacted by asking that who was that. She took her arm out of Sada's arm and both of them bent forward over the railing of the veranda to have a closer look at that man. They saw him again. He was crawling on his hands and knees, and then he fell on his face and kept on lying there. Probably he had fainted. A fisherman, perhaps, from his boat. He ran quickly down the steps, and behind him Hannah came, her white sleeves flying. A mile and two away on either side they were fishing villages, but there was only the bare and lonely coast, dangerous with rocks. The surf beyond the beach was spiked with rocks. Somehow the man had managed to come through them. He must be badly torn. Spiked here means covered with sharp points. So here in this paragraph it explains like that as the area had the villages full of fishermen. Sadao said that probably it was a fisherman who had been washed off from his boat. He ran to help him. Hannah followed him. The loose sleeves of her Hauri flew as she ran. This part of the coast was not inhabited as it had dangerous rocks on it. As the rocks were pointed, the man could be badly injured, although he had managed to come through them. Now, next paragraph. They saw, very small paragraph this is. They saw, they came towards him, that indeed it was so. The sand on one hand of him had already a stain of bread soaking through. Stain of bread means what? Blood stain. So, as the Japanese couple saw the man, they realized that he was badly injured. The sand on which he lay had blood stains on one side, which indicated that he was wounded. He is wounded, Sadao exclaimed. He made haste to the man, lay motionless, his face in the sand, an old cap stuck to his head, soaked with sea water. He was in wet rags of garments. Sadao stopped, Hannah at his side, and turned the man's head. They saw the face. White man, Hannah whispered. So, what happened in this paragraph? Sadao said that the man was wounded. He approached the man who lay motionless with his face buried in the sand. Oh, an old cap hung on his head. It was soaked with the sea water. His dress was so wet and torn. Sadao turned the man's head. As they saw the face,